Before I start the video, I want to tell you that I opened a new Discord server, so please join it in case anything bad happens to the channel. Also, we can chat in there. Link is in the description. Hello friends, welcome back to another video. Today I'm collabing with my friend DailyRoLord.
Hey everyone, I'm DailyRoLord. I'm a friend of Rayzone's and a Ninjago YouTuber, and today I'm collaborating with Rayzone on his channel about the best scenes of every Ninjago season.
So let's get started. The original Ninjago backstory. The scene is just full of nostalgia and simplicity, which I really like. The backstory itself is pretty interesting and the events are really cool. The animation style is just fantastic. I like the scene itself, it's very nostalgic and simple. The voice acting was really good as well. I don't really have much to say about it, but it's definitely a very iconic scene.
One of my favorite parts of Season 1 would have to be Zane's story and how he grows as a character, and I feel they did an excellent job with this flashback. My favorite scene from Season 1 would have to be the flashback of Zane and Dr. Julian, and I think just so much about the scene was done well. For one, I really love the soundtrack. As usual, Vincent and Kramer deliver an excellent score, and the emotion behind it was awesome. You don't necessarily feel sad, but you feel happy that Zane was able to have such a happy upbringing, but also a bit sad that, of course, Dr. Julian at the time was no longer with us. Overall, just an excellently done scene.
I don't like Season 2, but it does have some amazing moments, and surprisingly my favorite scene isn't the final battle, but the scene that led into it, which is the scene where the ninja were falling one by one while climbing the tower until Lloyd remained alone. That scene was somewhat dark as well because 3 out of 5 ninja turned completely evil, and now instead of helping Lloyd they are fighting him. And the whole idea of the ninja falling and turning evil one by one is scary, not only for us the audience, but for Lloyd as well, because he was depending on his friends and now he is watching them turning evil. Also, I really like Kai's quote when he said there is only one green ninja, and the soundtrack was amazing as usual. As a setup to the final battle, this scene was perfect.
My favorite scene of Season 3 is also my favorite scene in the entire series, and that's going to be another Zane scene, and for me, that'll be Zane's death. This was just such an awesome step forward for the series, and since then, Ninjago has never produced something so emotional and so significant. I feel the soundtrack is my favorite soundtrack in all of Ninjago as well. Excellent rendition of the soundtrack we had during his flashback from Season 1, and the emotion just really hits here. The flashbacks that are shown are all purposeful in some way, and I think the scene did a great job of showing what Zane is all about. He protects those who cannot save themselves, and yeah, this scene just blew me away.
I always wanted to see a Civil War season in Ninjago, and Season 4 is the only season that showed us how a Civil War in Ninjago could be. You probably already guessed the favorite scene from Tournament of Elements is Jay vs. Cole. That scene was both a perfect conclusion to the stupid love triangle and a glimpse to what a Ninjago Civil War could be. Also, you can see throughout the fight that the two, especially Cole, are fighting each other and each one is fighting hard, but at the same time they don't want to hurt each other because they know that they are best friends and that their real enemies share, not each other. The ending of the fight was amazing as well, with Cole sacrificing himself. This was amazing character development to Cole especially, and showed that he has a really pure heart and will do the best for his friends even if they aren't real friends anymore. Also, I want so badly to see a Civil War season in Ninjago, and this showed us how it could be like. Yeah, the reason behind this one is pretty dumb, but hopefully if they do a Civil War season they give it a better backstory. Overall, such a perfect scene and amazing character development for both Cole and Jay.
And for Season 5, we have another death scene, and that's going to be Moro's death, and this was an awesome conclusion for his character. I really loved his relationship with Wu. As we saw over the season, at first, obviously they started out as enemies, but this final scene really shows that Wu is forgiving. And even though Moro has done so much wrong, Wu still believes that there is good in Moro, or rather, he wants to give Moro a second chance. I feel Moro is given a really good conclusion here as something I would not have expected. And I think this entire line about him not wanting to be saved, it's a peaceful conclusion for him. He's been through so much trouble and so much stress in his life, and I think he definitely got the conclusion he deserved.
The Way Back is an extremely underrated episode and finale. The time reversal idea is genius and something very unique and different. I mean, aren't you bored of seeing the same thing in every finale, which is either somebody sacrificing themselves or somebody unlocks their true potential? Season 6 and 8 and probably 12 are the only seasons that did something different, and Skybound was completely successful at this. So Jay's final wish and the time reversal is my favorite scene of Skybound. First, it's something super original, and the scene was done so well. It was fantastic character development to Jay and showed how smart he is. He isn't just a comic relief character, but he can be genius at sometimes. Second, it was completely unexpected and shocking, and a fantastic plot twist nobody for sure saw coming. Third, it allowed the writers to do as much damage as possible to the characters, like making Lloyd a grandpa and killing Pixel. And fourth, like I said, it's something super original and new. The scene itself was amazing, showing us a series of the most important scenes from the season leading into the premiere. Also, Nia's death was very emotional, and Nada Khan's death as well. Overall, such a phenomenal and perfectly done scene with Ninjago that Ninjago will never forget.
I do not like Day of the Departed, but I do have a favorite scene, and that would have to be the scene where they're lighting lanterns. This scene happens towards the first half of the special, and this is when Cole has already gone off to Yang's temple while the other ninja are lighting lanterns, and it's just a really beautiful scene. As usual, Vincent and Kramer deliver an excellent score that really elevates the scene. And yeah, this rendition of the Ninjago Overture is very beautiful. I love that we got to see the ninja honoring past characters like Dr. Julian and Garmadon, and figures who really have had a great influence in their lives. And yeah, David the Departed again, not good, but this scene was just...
The last three scenes I talked about were mainly good because of the emotions or depth or originality, but this one is good because of the action. This is by far the best fight scene in the entire show. Hands of Time's animation is lower quality than the other seasons, but in this scene it's stunning. The fight is truly action-packed and very fast. You can feel every move, and I love the environment. We don't usually see a 2v2 fight in Ninjago, but this one was done super well. I love how they keep switching the two fighters, like for example, at first you see Garmadon fighting Crux, then you see Wu fighting Crux, then you see Wu fighting both Crux and Chronix, and the transitions are just phenomenal. I can watch this fight for a whole hour and not get bored of it, because it's really fast and exciting. Also, the story was pretty good, and I like how both time twins were lost in time in the end. Overall, such a phenomenal scene.
Season 8 is one of the best seasons in my opinion, so picking just one seed is difficult, but I do have one, and that'll be the 8-minute battle between Lloyd and Garmadon from episode 83. Garmadon's return was really the focal point of this entire season, and when it happens, man, just incredible. I hate to be repetitive here, but the soundtrack, just so good as usual. And what I think really stands out about this fight is the emotion. Lloyd's emotion is really guiding him here, and that's kind of where he goes wrong. The ninja do tell him that he should think first before going into this battle, and he needs their help, but he doesn't listen. He's overcome with grief and sadness, and yeah, he just faces Garmadon. And what's painful about this fight is we know that Garmadon is way more powerful, and Lloyd just being guided by his emotions and just having the disadvantage, Lloyd is going to lose this fight. And so as the battle unfolds, it becomes more and more clear that this is a losing battle. And yeah, this is just a phenomenal scene and is also my favorite scene of the entire Oni trilogy. So
Mr. E's death is just a horrifying scene. You are literally seeing a character dying in a very cruel way in front of you. I know he's a robot, but still, I really love how they sacrificed an important character like Mr. E to serve another purpose, which is showing us that Garmadon is now pure evil. He's ready to kill and destroy anybody because they failed him, which is just phenomenal and amazing character development. This scene was really unexpected, and I was so shocked when I saw it the first time. I love Mr. E's character, and seeing him dying like that really proved to me that Garmadon is no joke, and he is ready to kill people just because they failed the first time. And what made it even darker and scarier is when he said to Harumi that he'll do the same for her if she fails him. This scene is pretty quiet, but shows a lot, and that's what I love about it. You see that Garmadon is truly evil. You can also see that Harumi started to regret the fact that she resurrected Garmadon, which led to her phenomenal conclusion. The reaction of the other two generals was perfectly done, and overall such a phenomenal scene that proved to us that Ninjago is a lot more than a kids show.
Some may see this as a controversial pick, and this is one of the most hated scenes from Season 10, but my favorite scene is actually the Tornado of Creation, and the soundtrack really made the scene better. Without this exact soundtrack, I don't think the scene would be my favorite. But even beyond the soundtrack, this scene is good for other reasons as well. The visuals just look awesome, the animation is really good, And we get a brief moment for Garmadon as well when he sees Lloyd's mural being eclipsed by the Oni shadow. And I think that's a really good moment for him, deciding whether he wants to be in or out. And ultimately, he does make the right choice and decides to join in. And yeah, I mean, seeing all of these characters coming together, the most important characters in all of Ninjago, just an excellent scene in my opinion. Yeah, this tornado of creation may have come out of nowhere, but is it a good scene in terms of animation and soundtrack? Absolutely. And
I don't like season 11 at all, but unlike season 2, it was hard for me to find any good scenes. It is the only season of the show that is void of any deep or emotional moments, but in the end I found one. And it's not even as good as my 10th favorite scene from Sons of Garmadon, but anyways, this scene is half of the ninja team and the people of the Great Lake versus the Ice Samurai. Again, this scene isn't amazing or perfect, but what do? Season 11 is terrible. I like the preparations for it and everything. It felt like there will be a huge battle happening and I really like that feeling. Overall, the action was pretty cool and the reveal was also good and I really like the preparations for the fight. That was good.
And my favorite scene for Private Empire would be from the finale, when Unagami finally comes face to face and confronts his maker, Milton Dyer. What I love about this season's climax is that, unlike many other seasons, it doesn't rely on artifacts or MacGuffins, but actually the characters themselves. The reason this season ends the way it does is because of Unagami and Dyer making peace. And I think it's a great moment for Unagami. Unagami's not necessarily the most evil villain, but rather he is lost and he just doesn't know what's right or wrong. And I think that's illustrated very wonderfully by his child form. Yeah, this may have come across a bit weird, but looking back at it, I think it was a really cool idea and executed very well. And I think this was just a very good scene and different from what we've seen in the past for season climaxes.
And finally, you have the most recent season, Master of the Mountain. Like all the other seasons except 11, it was really hard to find a favorite scene in here, but I'd say Cole vs the Skull Sorcerer and Cole unlocking Spinjitzu burst is the best. First of all, I like how they started the fight in episode 15 and continued it and ended in episode 16, which provides more screen time and makes it less rushed. The choreography was just next level stuff, it was unbelievably awesome. The movements and the action was just phenomenal and super exciting. The animation was super awesome and overall it was an extremely action-packed and fast-paced fight. Then we have Cole unlocking Spinjitzu burst. It has some of the best quants of the series and I love how they included Cole's flashback into it. Also, it was fantastic character development for Cole because he learned that the reason to why his mom was a great warrior isn't because of something she used but because of something inside her, which is the Spinjitzu burst, and this scene couldn't be better. Also, we learned that Lily lied to and gave the blaze to the monster geckos because she knew that she can't stay with them for long because she'll die soon, which is extremely deep and dark whenever you think about it. The twist of the blaze being powerless was very unexpected, and after you think about it, it's just super deep. Overall, such a phenomenal scene and super well done, scene in action, emotions, and depth. And that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Huge thanks to DailyRoLord for collabing with me. It was a lot of fun. And also don't forget to check out his channel. Its link will be in the description. Don't forget to tell me in the comments what do you think of the video and what is your favorite scene of each Ninjago season. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share to the friends, and I'll see you next time.